I think Travis is a great tight end, obviously, and he's got a great one to work with here with Ian Vernon and Jordan. And Sprinkle, I think, is going to make big improvements. And Vanessa Garner, we have on the roster also. So I think those guys will be great weapons for him. But, I think it's like he mentioned up here on the press, it's about spreading the ball around and distributing the football to the right people, whether it's down the field, whether it's intermediate to the tight end backs, whatever it is. And that's something he's been very, very good at over his career. And that's part of the appeal that he had coming here, because that's a big part of what I like as an offensive coach, head coach, a quarterback that can distribute the ball and equally to a lot of people. That's very important. Every year you're not starting from scratch with key players at key positions. I think having Alex here, who's been in pro football for a long time, is a great benefit because he will transition his learning effortlessly. But linebackers, safeties, corners, offensive tackles, to teach all these guys new from day one, starting at the very beginning, is not easy all the time. To get your middle linebacker, your two middle linebackers that have been on the same page now for 2 years in a row, and get your safety Swearinger back, get Monte back for his second year, I think is beneficial. We try to do that as often as we can, but with free agency, that's not always going to happen. We have to do the best we can to try to make it happen as often as we can.
How does a guy
talk about Alex being a pro? You as a coach, how reassuring is it to have somebody that's mature in the league that can pick things up quickly for you at this point in your career?
It's important at the quarterback position. You got to have somebody that's a pro, and I think he mentioned his mental toughness, and that's what you see just off the film and just talking to him and seeing the history of what he's had to go through as a player, different stops around the league, and he's overcome some adversity in his playing career and still stands up here tall, understands that he still has a lot to work on, as we all do, and eager to get to work. Doesn't feel like he has all the answers. He wants to learn and work, and that's what draws you to a guy like that. As accomplished as he is, he still understands that he still wants to work and wants to learn and wants to prepare and get better.
A couple more, guys. Sit. How much does it reinvigorate you working with a new quarterback, a new receiver as well? Does it get your juices flowing this time of year?
Yeah, I think every year you get excited at the beginning. You put the past in the past, you learn from the mistakes that you had, but you get a new team and you get some of your veteran guys back and you start all over. But at the quarterback position, it gets you revved up a little bit. You got to be on your toes, especially with a guy as smart as Alex, because I'm sure he's going to challenge you mentally. You better have a plan for him. You better have a reason why you're doing certain things, and hopefully we'll give that to him, and then have a new receiver, and also working with some of the young guys that we had, like Josh Doxson coming back for another year, and Jameson Crowder still a young player, and Chase Roulier at center. We have some young defensive players, Monte, who I mentioned, and DJ's coming back for his second year. It's fun to work with these guys, and it's a great challenge, but got the pieces to work with, and we're excited.
What's your approach when you try to figure out a new guy on your team? What do you do when you take him out and hang out and talk with him?
Yeah, it's a process. You get to know him personality, what makes him click, hopefully a little bit. But April 16th, when we get people back in here, it's working out with Chad, letting him get to know the weight room and the training room, and then obviously have meetings with them and install our offense and get a chance to talk to them then. And then phase 2, we get to go on the field a little bit, see how they throw the ball or see how they run and catch and all that good stuff. And then we have OTAs, 9 or 10 good practices and a mandatory mini camp where we learn a lot, break for the summer, and then come back for training camp with a plan to get ready for the season. So all these guys bring something different, both personality and performance-wise, to the table, and it's our job to get the most out of every one of them.